What is up, everybody? We're back. Who do we got in the streets? We're talking some football today. We'll have Nick joining us from the Athlete Studio in just a few minutes. Go over all of the sweet NFL action from Week 7. Then after Nick bounces, we'll go ahead and dive into the NFL All Day Playbook and just kind of see what's going on in the marketplace right now. See what's cooking over there, and are people going up for those yards? Going out for those yards. We got Rowdy Rod's in the street. Fenny's here. Borland's here. Orion, Blazemore. You guys know the drill at this point. Go ahead, like the stream, subscribe to Team Hole. I think you have to subscribe in order to even participate into the chat. Just some housekeeping stuff. You can find all of the links right here in the show notes. There, you can join So Rare under the Team Hold account. You can join our Discord, sign up for the VIP. Just for scheduling, we do have one more show coming at you today at 2:00. We've got some So Rare talk that I'm excited to dive into. We do not have the 89 Cavs tonight anymore due to, our boy Steve came down with a little cold. So we're just going to reschedule the 89 Cavs. I apologize mainly to Stubbs because I know Stubbs was jacked up for the Cavs. Will Fitzgerald in the house. Good to be here. Good for you. I'm glad you're here. CP Money in here too. How are people approaching the playbook? I'll be honest, I was away this weekend. So it was nice to check out a little bit of sports in general. I barely played DFS. We squeaked out a min cash, even though we started Marcus Mariota as our quarterback and Kyle Pitts as our tight end. So the fact that we were able to figure that out and get in there was very impressive. I'm seeing Joe in here, Ryan, Thomas, Top Shot, Hot Shot. Good. Glad to see everybody here. But let's get cooking. We're gonna bring on our man Nick, the Mathlete Studio himself from Athlete Studios. What's going on, man?
Yo, what is up, my dude?
How are you? How's the Monday treating you after a chock full slate of Week 7?
It's treating us wonderfully today. We had a few huge sports bets that panned out this weekend for us, so we're really excited. We had a film shoot scheduled with Terry McLaurin this morning. Our team is out with him in the locker room right now, doing some behind-the-scenes film, maybe some NFL all-day stuff, stuff for his personal NFT drop that's dropping today. So it's always great when they come off a win, and you have to plan those week in advance, so you never know what's going to happen.
Coming off a win, I guess we can start there too. Coming off a win, and he had an incredible grab for a score. I forget over which corner it was, but then gave him a little business after that too. It was like a nice, sharp stare down as he walked that into the end zone. That was nice.
Yeah, it was. It was competitive, that game, and Terry's such a dog. We've worked with him for the last 2 or 3 years, and he's the most humble guy off the field. So you love when those guys are, you see him intense on the field, because it's what leads to beating a team like the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, is that dog mentality he has.
I know. I mean, the Green Bay situation is starting to seem a little maybe it wasn't a little fluky to you lose to the Giants a couple weeks ago, who are now apparently the best team in football, and then the Jets too, who I guess we are learning are way better than we thought they were going to be. Also, your boy over the Jets with the donuts, the victory donuts, that's looking like a huge W for them,
dude. The stakes are so high when you bet on projects like this, like we did with his victory donuts. It was crazy this season to be like, yeah, we're going to do an NFT project for Laken Tomlinson, where he's gonna, the rewards, the utility, will be redeemable after every win with the season they had last year. So to watch them pan out, I mean, I am a Bills fan and a Patriots fan, but I can't help to be a Jets fan this year.
Yeah, AFC East, sneakily, maybe the best division in football, although I guess the NFC East too, which is funny because I think at the beginning of the season, you would have been like, AFC East is the Bills and then some trash. The NFC East is the Eagles, maybe the Cowboys, some trash. And now both of those divisions are lights out right now.
Yeah, it is. I know. And even Washington coming off this win, right? I look at the division, and it's still a stretch for, a playoff spot. They'll have a lot of work to do. They'll have to get lucky with one of those or two of those teams having losing streaks. I'm not sure when the division rivals are coming up. I know they usually stack those towards the end of the year,
Right.
but I feel like those games are what's going to determine who's going to the playoffs.
Yeah, that is gonna be a lot of fun. What do you make of Green Bay though? Do you think this is like real panic mode material, or is the NFC still just kind of like all over the place that they probably are still in okay shape?
They're in okay shape. It'd be hard to see them not making the playoffs. What was interesting from the result last night is how that affects how aggressive they are with the trade deadline coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, knowing Rodgers might have a couple years left. I forget the contract, the extension, how long it was he signed in the offseason. But I feel like they're going to be in win now mentality
Right.
every year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made a big move at the trade deadline. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, rally back to, 11-6 and make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's funny. I would have assumed they'd be fine too. And then just thinking about how like the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys are all going to be in that conversation. The NFC West is like a little weird, although with the Niners now getting Christian McCaffrey, and the Seahawks got another win over the Chargers this week. And what are they, like 4-3 now? Like the Seahawks like might be a legit good team with Geno Smith, and they're like somehow still in this NFC West race, which is just so nuts.
Yeah, and Kenneth Walker is another client of ours, rookie.
Oh, wow,
that's
nice.
really taken off this year. I feel bad if you had him on your bench yesterday.
We did not over here. We had Kenneth Walker almost everywhere.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, he's that rookie that I think he was drafted in the second round this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of those guys, second, third round, who end up with these opportunities to help take their team to the next level after an injury, and that division's wide open. So
Right.
I'm a Cardinals fan through and through. So I think really, especially after watching the Niners game, that division is wide open. Seahawks very easily take that. I think it's another one where it's all so close. It'll come down to the division games.
Yeah, so like right now the Seahawks are 4-3. The Rams had a bye week this week, are 3-3, but I believe they have the Niners next week, who are 3-4, and then the Cardinals are 3-4 too. And yeah, like you said, I know you're a Cardinals fan. Man, it felt like they were just dead in the water. They weren't really performing up to snuff, and the offense seemed like all over the place. And you look down, they're like a game back, and now have Nuke is back. Is Marquise Brown done for the season? I never saw what the official report was on that. I knew it was just going to be for a little bit.
I'm actually not sure if they had announced the link that he's out yet,
Mm-hmm.
but with DeAndre back, you can see there's automatic life. I mean, more so than last week. They still had to rely on the defense for 2 touchdowns, which ultimately won them the game. But I'm not sure on the timeline of Marquise Brown. That is, I think, essential if they want to make a playoff run, to have him, come back healthy at the end of the year.
Yeah, I've seen the chat come through saying like 6 to 8 weeks. So
yeah.
So if they can stay above water until then, and then I mean like that completely changes the dynamics of the West, I think, if they have a healthy offense. But yeah, it's like looking at the NFC just in general, right? So you have like Eagles are 6-0, Giants are 6-1, Cowboys 5-2. That's all in the East. And then the Packers being 3-4, the Bucks being 3-4. Like the fact that the Bucks are 3-4, the Falcons are 3-4, and the Panthers at 2-5 and Saints at 2-5, just a game out of that is nuts. I mean, the Panthers Bucks game. I'm not going to say poor Tom Brady, but good Lord. Well, I have no idea what's going on there. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, he doesn't feel like it's a new team, and it's one season in his whole entire career where he's not winning. But I wouldn't be surprised if he turns that team around and they come back and they're competitive, because they're not 3-4, especially with the way that NFC is this season. Right, that's not you're not out of contention yet.
Right. And yeah, and I mean, like, clearly, I'm not worried about either PJ Walker, Sam Darnold, or Baker, whoever's that quarterback for the Panthers. I'm not really worried about that. The Falcons are like fun, but man, I don't see them really contending, and neither are the Saints. So I mean, they're still going to be in that playoff spot. And then when it gets to the playoffs, I mean, that's if they get in there, I still wouldn't want to be going against Brady in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. So it's yeah, going to be, I'm kind of enjoying the last few seasons where we get to watch like Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Russ Wilson and Matt Ryan and all these older guys compete. Big Ben retired last year. But it's also great to see the new blood coming in. I thought Kenny Pickett looked really good last night at a lot of times. At that last play of the game, he got backed up because of 2 penalties and had to throw something up out of desperation. But I was following the commentary, and I'll take their analysis for a quarterback over mine. But it seems like he's, a type A mentality that's coming into the locker room and the team with a lot of confidence. And I think that no matter what direction that team goes, that the next couple seasons with him, they can really grow him ideally into something like a Josh Allen. But
don't
I mean, set those expectations yet.
I thought he had some good moments there, and you're right. Like that last interception too. I mean, he was just trying to make something happen. That guy also made an incredible play. Like I couldn't believe he got both feet down on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, George Pickens looks awesome. Like you're only getting flashes of him, right? Like it's 2 or 3 plays a game, but he's just so much longer than I thought too. Like he can just go up and get the ball. And then so being able to have him and Claypool, who I feel like Claypool almost had a couple of big plays last night and just missed out on some. They look like they have a foundation that could be something. And assuming they get like a pretty solid draft pick moving into next year too, whether it's beefing up the offensive line or whatever. I agree. I think they could be primed for something down the road, but it might be a little frustrating this year though, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. It's, you can't complain too much when the franchise like that. I don't think they've ever had a losing season with Mike Tomlin.
Right.
So, but again, I mean, they're not out of contention either. I think they can come back. I'll have to look at the schedule actually. So, and be competitive and win games this year. I think 3 of the games that they've lost have been 1-score games where they just didn't execute that final drive. And I feel like a lot of games this year are coming down to that. But if they can get that, fourth quarter off it, I don't even think either team scored a point in the second half last game. Now that I think about it.
No, they didn't. It was 16-10 at halftime, and that ended up being the final.
Yeah. The Steelers, they're just not putting up the big crooked numbers on offense that you would see at least, every other game last year. So I think once they find that formula, they'll be able to get back to Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Yeah. So moving to Philly for a second, so they're 6-0, right? I'm looking at their schedule, and I want you to tell me when their first loss is. So they have the Steelers. They have the Steelers next week. They've followed by the Texans, then F1 Terry McLaurin's Commanders, then the Colts, then Green Bay. Looks like it's Sunday Night Football for Green Bay, so that'll be a tough one. Then it's the Titans, the Giants, the Bears. Then we start getting to like Cowboys, Saints, and Giants. So, but like all those seem kind of winnable.
Yeah, they could easily go the whole season with 2 losses. Any of these teams have the ability to upset them, though. So if I were betting, I might say the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
The Sunday night primetime game. And emotionally, because Claypool's a client, I think the Steelers are going to beat him next week.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah.
Your head in your heart. Your head in your heart.
Yeah. And I mean,
God.
I was gonna say Philly. Good time to be a Philly sports fan right now,
right?
Though. Did you catch any of the MLB game or the?
I caught it just as Bryce Harper hit that 2-run homer.
Nice.
And so that was good timing. And I love Bryce Harper. I've always kind of rooted for him and felt bad that he was hit with the injury bug for so long. And then I was early this year, right? Early this year. I forget did he break his hand or something? I forget what the injury was. And he was out for a little bit after getting hit by a pitch, I think. And so to see him come back and, I kind of hate everybody that's in the playoffs right now, so I'm like rooting for the lesser of
Yeah.
the evils. So I'm all aboard the Phillies bandwagon.
Oh yeah. I would have to too, going against the Astros. But
Yeah,
I was like you, I literally flipped on the game, I think in the 7th inning last night. And then Philly had just scored on like 3 wild pitches in a row, which was
wow,
crazy.
yeah. You don't see that
And
happen, let alone in the playoffs. You do not see that happen.
no, but it was pouring rain, so it was like, it was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. And then to go into the 8th inning and watch Bryce Harper hit the go-ahead home run
Awesome.
was sick. At that point, I was like, you know what? When you've got a franchise player like that you're paying that much money, you love to see him
Yeah.
win and go home with and win a title. So that and being up against the Astros, I can say I have a few friends who are big Padres fans, but I'll definitely be on the Philly bandwagon for this World Series.
Yeah, me too. Me too. No, it was. And there was a great interview of Bryce Harper yesterday talking about like the Philly fans too and playing for them. That was really good. And yeah, Philly is just like a slightly angrier Boston in my opinion. And so
Mhm.
I feel like they're like a cousin to me. So I I root for them in most of those scenarios. Just so nobody gets hurt too. Uh, but any other like main takeaways that you had from this week, or anything that like stood out, or stuff you're looking at? Like we're almost at the halfway point, but anything on your end?
On our end, we have holiday campaigns coming up with a bunch of the athletes we're working with.
Nice,
So it's ugly sweater season. That's always fun.
that's great.
The athletes give us, fun ideas that we can rip off of and put it out, for them to walk through the tunnel, go into the game. So holidays are always fun for the retail side of the business. So we're looking for, creative ideas with the guys. Terry's usually pretty easy. I think we've
Yeah,
got like because the nickname Scary Terry, I think we've got like a Nightmare Before Christmas theme design
that's
queued
great.
up, queued up for him. Um, and then, like I said, we're doing some film with him this morning, so we'll be pushing out some content of Terry interacting with NFL all day and his own personal e-commerce platform through Athlete Studio. And on the game front, I'll definitely be watching the World Series. There were some great UFC fights this weekend. We
Yeah.
had a client fighting Aljamain Sterling. We've got a client fighting next weekend, Calvin Cater,
Oh,
who's
nice.
a
That's gonna be a good one.
Boston guy in the New England Cartel. If you're
Yeah,
from Boston, bro, you have to root for Calvin Cater.
yeah,
Uh, he's a absolute beast, and he's the main event for the UFC Fight Night this Saturday. So
nice.
yeah, a lot of sports to look forward to, and then I think next week I'm excited to watch the Bills again and see how the Bills and the Cardinals, two of my favorite teams, how they bounce back in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and the Bills, it's Bills Packers, I think, next week, right? I
Yeah.
think that's on Sunday Night Football, so that'll be a good one. And then the Cardinals, I just had it up here a second ago. Cardinals looks like they have the Vikings, which again, the both of you guys coming off bye, so that the Cardinals Vikings should be a good one. We haven't really talked about the Vikings, who are like sneaky 5-1 right now, and looks like the only record-wise good team besides the Eagles in the NFC East. And I feel like they've won a lot of gross games, so no one's given them any respect. But I mean, 5-1, and the offense looks legit. It's the defense that I think's been letting them down a couple of times.
Yeah, it did seem a little quiet in the NFL this week, I feel, without the Vikings. But yeah, I think they're gonna keep pounding the offense through Justin Jefferson. I love Patrick Peterson and the leadership that they have on the defense. I think they'll turn that around. And the Vikings are gonna be a fun team to watch. I feel like yeah, between them and the Eagles, it's nice to see the purple and gold get be at the top of the conference like that.
It's funny. I feel like they were a popular team to bet as like an underdog to maybe win the NFC North. But I think it's because people were thinking the Vikings were going to be really good, which again, they have been really good. But I don't know if the bet was because you thought the Packers were going to be 3-4 through 7 weeks. And then now to go up against the Bills. I mean, if they're staring at 3-5, I could see that. Well, I could see us getting some like weird Aaron Rodgers interviews soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen if he's been on Pat McAfee's show recently, but do you know if they've been keeping up with those like weekly interviews they were doing?
I haven't seen any clips of them. I imagine I feel like one's coming soon if it's not out there already. But I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, that is I know he's always funny in interviews, but again, I think him and Tom Brady, it'd be hard to see their teams, go down with a losing record this season. It has been super fun. Just the Jets, the Giants, the Vikings, the teams we hadn't expected to be competitive this season, makes it a lot more fun that there's not still, 3 undefeated teams and a bunch of 1-6 teams. So it's made me, I think, have interest in more teams than my typical go-tos that we follow every year.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Bills and Chiefs, it does feel like very open. Like it feels like there's a lot of parity around. Like even like Chargers, I thought were going to be a little bit more legit, and they're losing weird games, and it does. It feels like it's wide open. I'm actually I got tickets to go to the Patriots Jets game, not this coming Sunday. That's that's at the Jets. And it's funny, when I got those tickets, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be garbage. Like Jets, Pats, like who cares? Like with the squads that they seem to be rolling out there. And now looking at it now, I mean, especially if the Patriots win tonight, that's going to be, a pretty important game heading into the halfway mark,
Oh yeah. That could determine a playoff spot easily or even the division, and their games, the remaining games against the Bills. So and then the Dolphins, who were on a little bit of a slump, Tua is back. Now they're back to 4-3 as well, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Yeah, the AFC East right now, the Bills are 5-1, Jets are 5-2, Dolphins 4-3, and Patriots are 3-3, but they play the Bears tonight. So you could have all 4 teams over 500 heading into week 8, which is pretty nuts. Especially again, they're like, oh, Dolphins will be a little bit better, Jets will be a little bit better, but I don't think anybody thought they'd be competing. And you're right, that game was so weird last night with Miami too, because they, like, the first 2 drives, I was like, wow, this offense is clicking, they look incredible, and then it was kind of nothing after that. And I mean, maybe the Steelers made some adjustments, and the Steelers defense is always like really strong, so maybe that was more that than anything else. But those first 2 drives, I thought was like, holy crap, Miami's back, they're going to put up like 35 points.
Yeah, I know. I was a little worried. I think I had turned the game on, and then I think I played a couple rounds of Rocket League.
There you go.
And then I turned back and it was 10-0. And I was like, whoa, I was like, uh-oh, I hope it's not one of these types of games. But then the Steelers had opportunities. They had 2 fourth quarter drives where they got almost all the way down the field. And that's pretty much been the story of their season so far, is not executing. I mean, not putting themselves in the position to win those games and put up bigger offensive numbers in the first place, just across the board. Like last week, after Chase Claypool's touchdown catch, that was the first touchdown catch from a receiver. I think Pickens' catch yesterday was the second. Wow. So there's not like multiple guys having 100-yard games like you would expect with Ben Roethlisberger. Right. And it seems like there's not as much. They're not throwing the deep ball as much. That's for one thing. But they're just
even the Deontay Johnson stuff. Like normally he gets peppered, right? Like he'll get like 10 catches for 95 yards or something like that. And I feel like that wasn't even happening. And it seemed like, and I don't know if Pickett has just a better relationship or chemistry with their tight end Freiermuth, but he was the one who seemed to be, like his first or second read every time.
Yeah. He might be, because that's might have been who he was training with when Trubisky was the starter. So that can happen. But I think again, going off the commentary about him last night from a quarterback standpoint, it sounds like he's has the right mindset, and I think he's going to keep improving week over week. So it's cool to see a Pittsburgh college athlete star, because he was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh College, come in, and once they get the team on a win streak, I think that fan base is going to be the loudest fan base in all the NFL.
Well, I mean, you could tell even though they're losing, they're still like more jacked up that Pickett's in there now. Like
Yeah.
you're still right. They're like they're ready to root for him regardless at this point, which is fun because and I didn't even think about it until I think it was Collinsworth who brought it up last night that it was a pretty uphill battle for Mitch Trubisky just because like they've got this rookie that they're excited about who's like you said like homegrown. It's be like, okay, Mitch, thanks for being here, but it's time. It's time for Pickett.
Yeah. And that's, you never know what it's like in the locker room, but hopefully he's a first round draft pick. You assume he's going to take the throne at some point over there. So hopefully they're good teammates and everyone over there supports him and his growth. And then the one guy who I love to see, who's a client of ours last night, get some shine is Javon Holland. It was so funny. He had a big pick. I think it was in the fourth quarter last night. And his nickname is the Snowman. So we've done a bunch of fun designs of like him as a snowman, but on a beach in Miami that are just like
Great.
Goofy and make no sense. And after he got the pick, him and the defense all did snow angels in the touchdown or in the end zone. And I was just dying laughing. It's so funny.
I love that. Speaking of which, I'm going to drop a link to the Athlete Studio and then I can get you out of here, Nick. Is there anything else? I know I kind of already pushed you into plugging some stuff, but anywhere else we should direct the people?
No, we've got some big drops coming up at Athlete Studio, and I think that's it. Yeah. Awesome. Just excited for more football. Make sure you catch the Calvin Kattar fight tonight. I think it's free on ESPN. It's not a pay-per-view card. So
there we go.
Definitely check out the New England Cartel and Calvin Kattar and support those guys because they're monsters.
Hey, we always support the New England Cartel. You got to
pay your dues.
That's right. Drop the link to the Athlete Studio. We also we gave away a gift card from one of your first appearances, and our guy Adam Stubbs won it, and he's like, I appreciate the win, but let's roll it again. Let's spin it again. So we still have that to give away, so we will do that again. I totally forgot that Stubbs said that. So we'll have that ready, I think, for your next appearance on Monday, and we'll go from there. But thanks again, man, for being down to do this every week. I know we had 2 weeks off because of the holiday, and then because I was like preparing myself for last week. But, good to be back though.
I'm glad you're alive after that. Was it a 6-hour stream?
It was an 8-hour stream, and then flew down to Atlanta like the very next morning for like a 1-day thing for a live show down in Atlanta. So it was a chaotic 48 hours last week with the start of the basketball season.
Yeah, that's awesome though, bro.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, sounds good. Take care, man.
Bye.
All right, shout out Nick from Athlete Studio. Again, you can see that link right there, athlete.studio. You can follow them on Twitter. They're tagged in our tweets, so get up in that. You guys want to talk a little playbook action? Also, I want to shout out momentumlabs.app. Let me pull up a little Momentum Labs so we can cipher through what they're doing. They're presenting sponsor for our Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday football show. So let's go take a look at that. See what's going on. You can go for Momentum Labs app, where they got the Flash Tracker. This is all of your Top Shot stuff. They've got some all-day edition, all-day players. But more importantly, if you go to your settings and you can view the JBB Sheets, which has everything that you need. They also got some fun So Rare stuff, which we're going to talk about today at 2:00. But let's get into the all-day playbook. Let me know, what are you guys doing right now? Where are you guys at with the challenges? I feel like I'll speak personally. I don't want to speak for everyone. For me, it slowed down a little bit, but mainly because, and I think it's good. I think it's okay that it slowed down. I feel like I've been being pulled in a bunch of different directions. So that's the main reason that I've slowed down now that basketball is back, because it was hard to stay so locked in with everything, with all of the content we were doing. But it seems like the challenges have been going over well. I know like we had a couple of fun ones yesterday where like Brady snuck in there. I know there was some issues. We've got a crafting challenge for Steve McNair, for Thurman Thomas, Derek Brooks. There was just so many announcements that happened last week. I don't know. How are you guys feeling? How are the audience? How are the customers feeling about the direction of all day? Regulator saying going for 100 this week, skipped last week, and Nathan said tonight's a gimme. Yeah, let's look at I'll go over to the playbook right now. Oh, I don't want to view the leaderboard. I just want to view the playbook, baby. So what do we have for tonight? Let's view the Monday Night Challenge. We'll throw this up here. What do we got? What we got here? You can need any NFL all day moment, just any freaking one. And then you need one moment from the winning team. There you go. So they were just like, let's make sure we get people 15 yards, build some positive vibes. So there you go. The tonight is absolutely a gimme. But what do we have for active ones? I wanted to see the Sunday Night Challenge. We can look at the Sunday Night Challenge quickly here. Puzzle Piece says all day or Top Shot with a different ball. What's up, Puzzle Piece? Yeah, what are you saying here? What are you saying here? Are you saying it's the same product, just a different ball? I can't tell because it sounds like you're asking a question. Confuse me. Joe J Light said probably going to finish with 90 yards, so I'll have to burn a rare to get to 100. Stan says he'll probably burn a rare. Mac Hollins for 100 yards. Worst I can get is another Mac plus 2 commons. There you go. I like that. I like that big brain. Big brain from Stan. But so I guess what I wanted to get is the overall sentiment still like, hey, we're having a good time. Like, sure, things aren't pumping like they were week one, but we're still like enjoying the process of this. I'm going to pull up Sunday Night Challenge here. So we got for Sunday, we needed one moment of the tight end with the longest reception, one moment of any player scores a touchdown, a historical series moment from the winning team, and one rare moment from the team who runs the most total of plays. Let me actually pull up. I'm going to swing over to ODM for a second to look at challenges over here for 1 second. Puzzle Piece then responded with Top Shot 2.0. So NFL All Day is Top Shot 2.0. Let me ask you this, though. If Top Shot renovates, does it become Top Shot 3.0 or does it become NFL All Day 2.0? I'm having a good time, but it can be a bit painful. Definitely still enjoying it. Yeah, no pack was huge. Yeah, so we didn't have any packs this week, which I wonder like when the next one is coming. All right, so here we go. It costs $75 for the Craft the Pass Steve McNair. I'm sorry, 111. I'm looking at my cost to complete. $12.79 for the Thurman. 105 for Derek Brooks. The 4th and Inches Burn Challenge. There you go. That's 34. But here we go. The Sunday slate. You need 7 moments for 235. Let's go look at this one. This is the one I was interested in. And that's because Tommy Brady is in there. You need a Herbert, Austin Eckler, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Matt Ryan, and then a defensive player, Davis Mills. So that one is 235. Again, I like that though. I like that it's a little bit tricky for like the harder one, right? The Sunday. Look at all the people that burned a rare for 10 yards, almost 500, helping everyone out at the platform. Yeah, I think big picture on the Dapper Dudes, what's going on right now is I like, and I know LG put out a thread about Top Shot burning. It does seem like the emphasis, the emphasis, if you will, has been a little bit more on burning the last couple of weeks, and that looks to be the future of it all. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to still continue to see like aggressive burning. I think like these multiple crafting challenge, even though it's a historical moment. Sorry, John Boy Beats. I think to continue to see multiple opportunities to burn is a positive thing, right? I think we can see on the site, right? We can still see if I go to the home. Oh, is it not on the homepage? Maybe it's the marketplace. Where was it that it would tell me exactly how many moments have been burned? I know it's like over 300,000 moments have been burned because our man Diamond tagged. Nathan says that's even before they potentially needed the yards too. Might go from 85 to 95 and still be short. That would be a bummer. That would be a bummer. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how many people get 100 yards this week too, and like what the I'll go to playbook. Thank you. I thought that's where I was. I still don't see how many moments have been burned, but that's fine. Who cares? Whatever. So just wait till everyone burns and hope our bags pump. Okay, that's one way to do it. I think we have to. I think aggressive burning sounds like a bad medical condition side effect. I like that though. Never met a burn that I didn't like. You know what I mean? But I think this is good. I think it's good that they're still doing it. I'm not really waiting for my bags to pump. I've honestly moved off a handful of things today. I did that while it did like move up a little bit in a challenge just to give me some more Dapper to be flexible. You know? Dapper plan is working, getting everyone to fall in love with burning, and then they will keep oversupplying moments So just so everyone can burn away. I got to tell you, Strictly Sports. I mean, this is funny. I do think this is funny. I'll give you that. But if that is the case, I have to ask, and this is more rhetorical. Well, not rhetorical, but I ask this about everyone, for everyone. What are you doing in Dapper if you feel that way? Like, wouldn't you go? Well, go to So Rare. Why don't you go check out So Rare? But no, if that, and I have to ask myself because sometimes the decision making is just like absolutely bonkers. Um, but if you do feel that way, you can spend your money doing something else. You got to spend it doing something else. Anybody have any good Rumble hits? I think I forgot to. Oh no, I entered a lineup, but it was trash because Lamar. I keep falling down the Lamar Jackson rabbit hole, where I continue to play Lamar and Mark Andrews. It seems like an easy W, and then they suck at the balls. So let me pull this up. There we go. Lamar Jackson with 10 points. Sick. Austin Eckler with 36. Chase with 33. Debo kind of sucked. Tyreek was fine. Arizona, whatever. We still got Ramondre to go, who Ramondre should have a fun game tonight. Let's see. Anybody getting good sweats right now? I'm not seeing any. Fast Eddie Fear. I feel like I've seen Fast Eddie Fear. I don't know. I don't. Do any of you guys have any sweats? Fair take. I think Dapper needs to take some responsibility to shrink supply versus the fixes being on the users. That's fine. Fine. I take it back. Thomas Welch, 45th in Rumble. Shouldn't have switched to Burrow from Burrow to Dalton last minute. I know that's tough. Had some major pain in the underdog streets this weekend. Post in the Discord. I'll have to go take a look. And then J Light asked if we're buying La Liga packs tomorrow. I'm not. So I am in closed beta. I gotta tell you guys, I'm tapped out with what I can, not only what I can spend on, because I'm also tapped out on that. I am tapped out on what I can pay attention to. Last night, I watched a football game while doing like condensed viewing of 2 different basketball games to then get up this morning to watch condensed version of basketball games. I can't do all of it. And I'm excited for the people who are excited about La Liga. I wanted to do La Liga just so I was capable to handle the content. I can't do it. I can't. I want to, but I just can't. It's too much. It's too much for me. And I think that's good though, because I'm sure there were a lot of people. I always think about Greg. I was thinking about Greg, right? Greg loves baseball, but did Top Shot until there was a baseball thing. And now he's like, you know what? My bags are packed on Top Shot. I'm going to go hammer baseball because that's where I love hanging around. And I think that's the right way to do it. Nathan says, I only invest in what I can pay attention to. Top Shot and already a lot. I agree. I'm starting to grind. Again, we're doing a So Rare show at 2:00, which if you want to participate in the chat, you got to be a VIP, but you can still view the stream. But it might be a quiet one, but I'm excited to like start moving some funds over there and diving in. And I think what I'm going to do with all day is have moments to play Rumble. I'm going to, maybe participate in challenges when I have it, but I don't think I'm going to go ham. Same thing with Top Shot. I've got my stuff over there. I'm going to try to get some of these 4K rookies that I'm excited about. I'm not going to give a shit about the parallels. And that's it. And then So Rare, I'm getting a little bit more aggressive with some of the stuff that I'm going after. But honestly, I think this is good. I think, like, I know maybe this is a Galaxy brain take that all of these Dapper products is actually bad. Oh, well, no, I think the common take is that every time a new Dapper product is introduced, it's the money that was in these Dapper products now moving to the other one, right? Because they're not actually getting any new users. The Galaxy brain take is it's actually good because you're going to focus on one thing instead of just spraying and praying. That's 2 glass half full, though. I actually don't think that's a good take. As I'm processing it in real time, I think it's a bad take. I don't get that the people that buy moments just to burn. Maybe it's just me though. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, why not them be responsible for removing the moments instead of putting it on the users who they already took that money from? I get that. I get it. Intellectual capital has a limit for everyone. I'm feeling it. I am feeling that. I am feeling that. Guys, listen, I know this is it's only 40 minutes. Is there anything else specific to all day that you guys want to talk about? Because otherwise, I think I might call it here. Monday's usually just kind of the recap show. I was going to dive a little bit more into the Monday Night Challenge, and then I saw what it was, and there's no reason to do that. And then we're going to be back with our Wednesday, Friday shows again. Wednesday will be a little bit fun. I'm going to try to have a guest for Wednesday. And then Friday, Big Ticket and Jay Light, I believe, make their triumphant return to the stream. And then Sunday, we'll be back again with John Boy Scoots, giving away a premium pack, which we did. Ooh, Martin Kangs. I sold out of All Day and Strike to focus on Top Shot. I see it as a fun hobby now, and don't worry about the money. There you go. That's healthy, bro. I think a lot of people did that with Top Shot 2 All Day once All Day came back. It was easy. Like what you were like, again, similar to Greg with Candy, right? You could just like grind. You could just grind the stuff that you wanted to do. You know, Regulators said 2 more shows today, right? Yeah. I said this at the beginning. 89 Cavs we had to reschedule, unfortunately, because my man Steve is feeling very sick. So we're going to push back 89 Cavs a little bit. But we had a fun draft show scheduled. I was really excited about. So we'll definitely fire that up again soon. But it's only going to be one show. We're also going to figure out a night to do playback. I was thinking about doing playback tonight, but they don't have we should just watch Monday Night Football instead, you know? But yeah, you know what? I think we're going to call it there. We're going to call it there. It's 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Is Top Shot going up, Nathan? Is it though? Is it? But yeah, we'll be back at 2:00. Come hang. Thanks to our man Nick over at Athlete Studio. Appreciate you being here. We will be back at 2:00 for some So Rare. If you're just here for the all-day content, Wednesday at noon, Friday at noon, Sunday at 11. That's our schedule for the rest of the week.